everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Student to Life podcast, where learning and unlearning has no limits. I'm your host, Stretch, and today I'm here with a special guest. But before we get to that, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share with your family. It's clean content, educational content, you know what I mean? And today we have a very, very, very special guest in the building with us today. We have Pressure Busspipe.
Big up. Enough love. Respect you.
Yeah. So the podcast is called Student to Life Podcast, and when I invite people on the podcast, the first thing I like to do is humanize our guests. Let people know that you're not just an artist, that's a public figure. You're also a real person in real life.
Appreciate that.
Let us know a little bit about Pressure. We're born and raised. All right, ladies, listen up. If you're tired of your old hairdresser not answering, not getting your hair done properly, head over to All Dolled Up Salon at 7515 West Sample Road in Cold Springs. They get you hooked up right, get you hooked up properly. Give them a call. Follow them on Instagram. You can find them, and they will hook you up. Tell them Student to Life sent you over there, all right? All Dolled Up Salon, 7515 West Sample Road in Coral Springs.
Yeah, St. Thomas, born and raised St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands. We call it Rock City. Yeah, man.
You know, for growing up, nobody could have told me that you was in Jamaica.
Yeah, I know this. I know the vibes, man. I know the story.
Everybody thought you were Jamaican. You, Rush Shiloh was another one. I Sasha was another one. We thought was all of you guys was Jamaican. But
Yes, I.
I'm surprised only watching interviews realizing that the accent is a bit different. So what was life like growing up in the VI?
For me, well, VI, I grew up as a youth, as a child. I did enough things a youth would do. I come up playing baseball, Little League baseball. I was also in music in school. I played the trumpet, the drums, you know what I mean, from a very young age. So I've been a part of the concert band from elementary. Middle school, I was in concert band. I also was a part of Steel Pan Orchestra, Rising Stars. So, I was well rounded in music and sports as a youth.
Yeah.
Coming up, you know what I mean, and still, coming out of the ghetto too, you know what I mean. So, you have to still face the pressure as well, you know what I mean. So yeah.
So let me ask you, when I went to the VI, because I'm a DJ, right?
Sure.
I went to the VI to 2 events 2 times. And the first time we went, the promoter didn't put a live band on the event, and the event was completely empty. And that was the only reason that everybody gave me that. Why nobody showed up to the event?
Yeah.
Because it was not a live band. So why is live band so important to the people in VI?
Well, I mean, it all depends on the music, I mean, what was it looking for? Was a calypso band or something?
No,
it was reggae.
We're Jamaican DJs. So
Okay.
we booked 4 major Jamaican DJs, and still never get a turnout. So I
Okay.
was wondering, like, because people were saying if they don't have a band, like a VI band.
Artists as well performing?
No, just us as DJs.
Okay.
But they say if you don't have a VI band in VI, a local band, a lot of people won't show.
Well, that's not fully true.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think it's promotion and all of that. There are events where there's just DJs, and we always look forward to the international DJs to come on the island. You know what I mean? So
you feel like you just never promote?
I just feel like the show never promote good. I don't know which show you're talking about, but there's a whole genre of people that just love reggae music and the international music.
Right.
And then there's the locals, especially the youths, them that love the band culture in the Virgin Islands. You know what I mean? So I just felt like it maybe was promoted to the wrong demographic of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I like the DJ stuff, you know what I mean? A lot of the band stuff, I grew up on it, but at my age right now is more for the youths, them, especially the content of the music and stuff like that. So I would more come to a DJ, something that I know would be well-rounded, you know what I mean? So, yeah, just seeing it from that standpoint had to been some bad promotion or something.
So when I went there, like I heard you say you come from the ghetto.
Yeah.
And we don't see that side of VI when we go. So I don't know, like in Jamaica, a lot of people say they don't see the ghetto, they go and see the hotels, they go see the beaches and stuff like that. So is it the same thing with the VI? Like when you go to VI, you don't really see certain places unless you're directly intentionally go there.
Well, to be honest with you, it's easy if you see the ghettos in the VI, but the Virgin Islands is well painted nice. It looks beautiful. My ghetto where I come from, you would not believe it's a ghetto if you just see the place.
Right.
You understand? But it's not the buildings, it's the people that
Right.
live there, and the mindset of the people, and all throughout the communities. I don't see no community in the Virgin Islands, even in the projects and the housing communities. They all look like condominiums.
Yeah.
They all look like some place you would want to rent and spend $1,500 a month or something. You
Just to
understand what
live.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because where it's located. We have some projects in the Virgin Islands sitting on prime property. You understand?
Yeah.
Like the rich people would love to take over that and build some $1 million condos, but black people live there, so, and the
Right.
people them who face, you know, political struggles and stuff like that, they're the ones who are enjoying those properties in the ghetto,
Yeah.
really. So you would drive by easy, man, and you will look and you will see, say, wow, it's a nice little place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's wicked.
So it's not about the look of the place, it's the
No,
mindset
no.
of the people.
Yeah, so you wouldn't really, one and two places, of course. We have some old towns in the Virgin Islands, especially in St. Thomas. One of our oldest towns is in Savan, right? And it's the oldest town. It was in St. Thomas. That's where, like, people, there is the only place people live. Like, my dad was born in Savan.
Yeah.
His mother was born in Savan. Like, that was the only town at one time back in the early 1900s.
Yeah.
And in St. Croix, there's Frederickstead. That's is one of the first cities in St. Croix.
Yeah.
So there are old towns that you will drive by and be like, yeah, I could feel like,
Yeah.
a strong energy from real revolutionaries and warriors that come through this place. But yet still, the place is beautiful.
Yeah,
On
it
a
is.
whole,
I ain't
you
gonna
know what
lie,
I
it
mean?
is. Like you
It's a
said,
beautiful
it's
place.
not huge. 'Cause you can
Yeah,
drive through the island, but like we don't see that
yeah,
as the
yeah.
outsiders.
True, true. Which
So
is good.
yeah.
Give thanks.
So for you, now, right? When did you find Rastafari? Was it before you found music, or when I say music, I mean a career as a singer, or was it after you find a career as a singer?
Yeah, it was before. I was like in 10th grade. You know, when I was in 10th grade was when Anthony B come out with Fire Upon Rome.
Yeah.
You understand?
Jimmy Day Barnett.
And Sizzler did. I mean, not Sizzler. Capleton had the album um, I Prophecy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And then them albums is the albums that really make me start to seek for myself about Rastafari, because we grew up in a community where we see enough Rastaman, enough people with locks on the head, and learning from my father especially is like they're drug dealers. They're people who, them not do nothing with themselves in the
Yeah.
community. You understand? So through the music, I get to understand who and what Rastafari really stand for on a whole different level. And for me now, reggae music on a whole has always been like the music that elevate the people in the ghetto. It always speak about the social issues, stuff like that. So it was easy for me to learn, what Rastafari is about. Of course, Bob Marley or the Dennis Brown and like the artists them that I mentioned who were like new artists at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm for sure was very much into the fire, and what that did for me, and just growing up in a community where I know, like, all right, enough things ain't right, something is wrong, something is going on, and Rastafari was just that light in the community for me.
Because I was going to ask you what was the message that stood out the most when you hear those songs, because we know a lot of people hear the songs and then not everybody convert
Yeah.
to Rasta. So what was that main message that hit home for you? It was like, all right, my sister said this are the real message.
Yeah. When I start to seek Rastafari, I start to see myself as a true king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because growing up, I went to Sunday school with grandma, and my grandma is a Jehovah Witness. So you must know, every time I go at my grandmother's house, she's preaching Jesus Christ to me. She gives me the Awake magazine, and especially when my mom is not around, grandma just take full control and just teach us about God. So I'm grateful for learning about God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The God figure. But Rastafari really showed me who I am as a person and where I'm coming from, as a black man, the history of black people, and where we're going as a people, and it just made me start decipher all right, what's a lie and what's really truth? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And up to this day, we're still seeking knowledge. You
So
know?
so what did your parents think about that? Because in a 10th grade. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
my father tell me one time if I ever put dreadlocks in my head, he would chop my head off. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I live to see my father listening to my music and loving it, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I see the change. You know what I mean, because and I don't give him rank. I remember, you know, in my early days, enough youth did have locks and
Yeah.
never really praise Haile Selassie. You understand? Like, man, a bad man. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And it's like, what we used to call them is rascals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they weren't really doing any godly stuff. They just carry the locks, but them a fire gun. Them a
Yeah.
sell drugs. You understand? So they were somewhat, you know, the role models in my community.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said again, the music kind of make me decipher what's real and
What's
what's
not?
fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now turning, seeking Rastafari and knowing that, all right, there's Nyabingi, there's Bobo Shanti, you know, there's 12 tribe Orthodox. For me, I take on to the Bobo Shanti order because I felt like, you know, enough man are wear locks and them not really ras.
Yeah.
Nyabingi is the order where the man them not really wear turban. Them fly the locks, bongo dreads and you know and stuff like that. So you see a youth out on the street, him have bongo dreads, but he might eat burger.
Yeah.
You understand? Him might eat KFC and so me I say, all right, when me wear turban, the man them wear turban in the community had a different respect. You know, like no, you can't ramp around them man, you
Yeah.
can't you understand? So I say, yeah, me need that kind of respect there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As a Rasta man, too. So, you know, I more take on to the Bobo Shanti order.
I would say back in the days, maybe in the 80s, 90s, Jamaica, Rastafari was considered like I said, frowned upon in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So was it like that in the VI where it was hard for Rasta? Like,
It was definitely hard. Like, you know what I mean? You couldn't get a job like that. You know what I mean? It was hard even in the British Virgin Islands. I'm from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Like, if you weren't from the British Virgin Islands, you couldn't enter with dreadlocks. You know what I mean? You would get turned back. But because I'm a Belanga, my family, my grandmother, my mother, you know, they originated from Tortola and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't deny me because I had direct bloodline. You know, but it was hard. Like, I went up there one time with a couple of my friends who were Rasta, and they get turned back to the point I was like, no, it no make no sense I stay. It's
Yeah.
better the whole we just go back. You know, because, you know, they weren't allowing anybody with dreadlocks into the island. So, yeah, I come in a time when Rasta never have it hard. You know, to see now that, you know, it's a fashion and people don't really understand how hard the fight Rastaman got through for you can wear locks at your dread at your job today.
get away with
You
it.
know what I mean? And get away with it is like we were frowned upon wicked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something it never leave me. You know, I'm always appreciative of
So you got into the books as far as Rastafari is concerned with the Marcus Garvey readings and
Teachings, yes.
teachings and stuff like that. If you can remember any one of the books where it stood out to you when it came to reading about the faith and stuff like
Well, I've read the Kebrenegas, you know, I've read the Jahol books that were about the king and teaching about the king and stuff, and of course the Bible. You know what I mean? But for me, it was just life itself.
Yeah.
You know, I love to read, but I love to experience things
Yeah.
in a reality. So that was my way of even sharpening who I am as a
Yeah.
person. You know, being a social person, learning to communicate with people, even though they might have differences from me. You know, respecting one's personality. You know, that was something I had to deal with hands on.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, reading, I know a lot of people that read, you know, and they're just book smart, you know, and common sense they lack.
I'm not, yeah.
You understand? So I made sure that I have a full package, a balance.
Yeah, we'll get to the Bible part in a second, but we see now, right, where a whole heap of people are not converting to Rasta. Like when Sizzla drop him album, or when, like I said, Anthony D or Capleton drop him album, you see a whole change of people changing their lifestyles, and a lot of people got it miscrewed where enough man I say bun this and bun that and him not this and him not that without understanding
Exactly.
the meaning behind what certain things were. But why do you think we don't see as much people transitioning into the lifestyle anymore like back in the days? Was it because the music has changed? Is it because the lifestyle is not popular anymore? Like as far as the real lifestyle, not know the fashion thing, the real lifestyle.
It's quite a few things, you know. From my standpoint, I just feel like unity is everything, you know. Right now there's a force, there's a big force happening. There's two forces, you know. There's force of good and evil,
Yeah.
you know. There's a dark side and there's the shining light side, and the dark side is the unifying. You know, they're fighting hard. Those who are working for the devil, them are get together and I do the devil work. You know, whether through the lyrics in the music is it being strained massive through the gun violence, you know, derogatory terms towards the woman them,
Yeah.
you know, no respect for oneself, you know what I mean? Everybody are pop drugs, everybody is like it's just the devil's work. And the man them were sing conscious music, you know what I mean? There's very few.
Like you said in
You
the song.
understand?
Yeah.
There's very few, and is the unity. Before there was a force, you know what I mean, with enough artists. And for me now that I could look back, maybe it was just the thing to do. Like man, just like love falla. You
Yeah.
understand? 'Cause if Rasta thing I go on,
That me a jump
then
on.
you understand?
Yeah.
Because now when the smoke is clear, you get to see who's the real
Yeah.
and who stick around. I know enough artists where start out with conscious music and nothing really too conscious about them. Maybe behind the scenes, but what they have been projecting to the people has not been anything healthy and anything
Yeah.
uplifting. You know what I mean? So I would like to see more unity with the conscious side.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what I feel is happening now today. But it just needs to be seen. We need to do more works. We need to find fun ways to reach out to the youths. Because, you know, the youths, them taking on to a road, and some of them just having fun. You know, some of them probably might never really be a devil,
Yeah.
but it's just fun to just listen to something that's unorthodox.
You
You
know,
know
to
what I mean?
think.
The music that easily you're hearing today, it couldn't play years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of the artists them don't have a zip on their mouth. They don't know like,
There's no
bro,
poetry
yeah,
about
like bro, certain things enough is saying in music, you know,
Yeah.
it's like that change today is like it's
Yeah.
no limit what you
What
can
we
say
say.
in music. You understand?
Yeah. And it's also accepted by the public too. So that's the
True.
weird
Yep.
part.
Yeah.
But you speak about health and healthy, right? When I was growing up, a lot, like I said, a lot of men do it because that was a thing to do at the time. And one of the guys I looked up to the most who preached this type of lifestyle, who grew him locks and him not eat certain meat and him not live a certain way.
Yeah.
I actually saw him the other day, cut off him dreads, bald it completely, and I'm a jerk pork. Yeah, that's what I mean. And there's a man who burn out them thing. I mean, I said, look like at the time it was the thing to do.
Yeah.
So now we see where a lot of the world is transitioning into healthy eating.
Yeah.
When it comes to veganism or pescatarianism, where Rasta been talking about this from
Yeah.
back then. So how strict are you with your diet when it comes to to that side of things?
Well, I would like to be a lot stricter, but you know what I mean? I don't eat meat. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't eat chicken. I don't eat beef. I eat a fish, of course, but mostly on vegan diet. You know what I mean? I would try to eat more healthy foods like that. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm human. More time we are looking in the streets and on late night, so I might have to eat some fried food or something like that just to keep
Yeah.
going. But nothing that I feel I defile myself with. I don't eat no red meat, no chicken, anything like that.
Yeah.
But I would eat fish, right? But mostly my diet consists of vegetarian food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same thing for me. Like I don't eat no products either. So no milk, no cheese, no
See, yeah,
eggs.
yeah, man.
None of that. So like you said, perfect. So
Yeah, you know.
try to keep on a level. So where did music now? Get to the music. Where did music start for you as far as taking it like seriously?
Yeah, I was a drummer, like I said earlier, and you know, everybody in my school, everybody in my surroundings know that that was my passion. Like my father was probably one of the most popular drummers coming from the island at that time. You know, for years, on top of years. So it was expected for me as his son to be the next upcoming drummer.
Yeah.
You know, so that's all I could see, and of course, I want to be just like my father. You know, but you know, my father was not a man who come from the ghetto where I come from, but him end up meet a ghetto woman, which is my mother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how comes I raised in the ghetto. Cause my grandmother, uncles, aunties, everybody, you know what I mean? I practically raised in there. But my father was a man of the community, you know, and he was somebody who was well respected in the community. So for me now, I always wanted to do music, but I didn't know that I would be a singer, you know. But of course, coming up in the ghetto, why I mentioned that is because I done starting to fall victim to the streets, you know.
Yeah.
I done getting myself into problems with gang war and, you know, in school and getting suspended regular and
Yeah.
yeah, man. So
But no, we don't see that none at all. Like we don't even suspect that would be a
of
thing.
course, because like I say, you know, when Jah find you, you know, Jah
Yeah.
save youths, you know what I mean? I was one of them youth that were just saved.
Yeah.
So my mother now see the road I was going down, and she took me off the island. She shipped me away to live with my uncle, you know, where my uncle saw the road I was going down as well. And him say, all right, cool. Go take him out of certain things. So my when I was living with my uncle, you know, I was still disobedient in the beginning because, you know, he might treat me certain ways that my mother don't treat me, but my mother just didn't have control of me at the
Yeah.
time. You know, so my uncle had to find ways to control me. And, you know, I didn't like it. So at the end of the day, I'm just saying, you know what? No music, academics alone. So he took me from playing the drums. I couldn't play the trumpet, and I basically couldn't go anywhere. I just had to stay home, do my homework, do the chores, and wait till school tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for that now, I started to write music. I'm in my bedroom and I'm listening to the Sizzler, the Capleton,
Yeah.
you know, the Anthony B, all the songs them that were uplifted me in that time. You know, I started to wanted to be like that. I want
Yeah.
to write a song like that.
Similar to
So
them.
yeah, so I started to write some conscious music, you know, and from time to time I would bust a little lyrics for my uncle, see if him free up himself and you know what I mean, make me feel a little better.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll be like, ah, you sound good man, but go on back to your schoolwork. You understand? Get back to the schoolwork. So when I started to really get more into writing, and then of course the school I was going in Georgia, you know, I was the only youth in the school from the Caribbean. So I was popular just because
Yeah.
I had an accent. Nobody ever seemed to be in touch with a youth that has a Caribbean accent,
Yeah.
of course, right? So I'm popular. The teachers them asking me to read. I'm always reading just because they
They
want to
want to
hear
hear
me
the
talk.
accent.
Yeah. So yeah, and then now I'm singing at lunchtime. I'm chanting with other youths, them who are rap and thing, and I'm starting to gain my little publicity through the school. And now this is getting serious. Like you know, people really see me as an artist.
Yeah.
You know, so nobody back home thinks I'm an artist.
Then we are Joe.
Them don't know me an artist yet. You know what I mean? So now I want to send some things back to the Virgin Islands and make them know. So as I start to bring my grades up, my uncle allowed me to make a recording with a couple of some friends down in a ghetto as well. So him say, listen, I know where you're going in. I'm gonna take you down there and I'm coming back for you in 1 hour if you ain't finished with what you're doing in 1 hour. You understand? So see, I already had my songs written. Everything was put together, so
Yeah.
it didn't even take an hour. I just recorded. By the time he picked me up, I was already waiting for him to come back. You know, jump in his vehicle, pushing the CD, and he's like, "Wow, this sound good."
This was high school.
This is in high school in America, in Valdosta, Georgia at the
Yeah.
time. So he's like, he gave me the confidence, like, yeah, man, I love this. I love this. So I said, all right. I just burn couple CDs and I just mail back some of them to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Because you know, you never have no internet them time. So I had to mail them back some CDs to the VI. One of my brethren them get it and them say, yo, you need to come back. I hear what it have two of your brethren them down here. Them I do them thing too, you know. So
Yeah.
from you come back and I you link up, it gonna be mad thing. So I don't know trying to convince my mother, like, mommy, I'm doing better in school, you know. You know what I mean? So she flew me back to the Virgin Islands.
So how you
Yeah.
know you can sing though? If you really meant it. Enough how we in our head singing in the shower we feel like we're a bad singer, right? So how do you know like you can hit a note? Because when I hear a song like Love and Affection, your voice, the key go We up as I said, Jaja, yeah,
That came over time, you know. I didn't start out being a singer. Trust me,
yeah,
I was a full DJ.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Bounty Killer was my artist before the Anthony B and me
Yeah.
seeking Rastafari and the Sizzler and all of that. Bounty Killer was my artist. You know what I mean? So I before I left to my before my mom shipped me out, I was already doing um talent shows, but I was singing other people's song. You know what I mean? So I was already recognized as, yeah, he's a, you know, he loves singing people's songs. So now when I came back with my own music from America now, that changed the whole
Yeah.
dynamics.
And,
You know?
and and I was reading an interview where you say you was in a part of a group.
Yeah, so this is a group I'm about to tell you about.
Yeah.
You know, so when I came back to the Virgin Islands, I link up with one brethren, you know, who was younger than me at the time and well, still younger than me. And bad artist same way, Rafai Jassiano. And me and him get together as a little duo. We started to do some more shows outside of school, and then we were like consider ourselves like the baddest thing them
Yeah.
in Charlotte Amali High School. But there's another high school on the east side of the island, and we are here about some artists out there were bad same way.
Yeah.
So now me and Rafi say no man, we have to go out of them on the school and go compete, you know, 'cause that's the only way we're gonna make our name, you know. So
Yeah.
we reach out there to the school now, and they always would have their little chant out like after school. We call them chant out, right? Where if you're an artist, you just hold the mic and do your thing. You know what I mean? So we would hear that they would keep something. So we would leave our school and head east to their school to clash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we reach out there now, if we go clash some youth, now we realize, say, wait, that man there sing some conscious music too, man. That man there sing Rasta music,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? So we don't need for clash. Yeah, son, we just need for join and make we just work together.
Yeah.
So it end up become a group of 7 of us.
So,
You understand? Like we had one of the youth them in the group who wasn't even an artist, he was a dancer. He just used to do some dance and we call him the fire dancer. So we just was well rounded with talent in the group. You know what I mean? Our first show that we opened up was for Sizzler. It was in 1999. Our first show as a group, we opened up for Sizzler, and from then we were like the number one opening acts in the Virgin Islands. I don't care if you bring, I don't care the genre you bring. They brought Eve and Lil Wayne
Yeah.
back in like
You're still
2000.
open.
Yeah, we are open up for them. You know what I mean? It was like people just love the group,
Yeah.
but people would always be like, "Yo, the group bad enough, but pressure in bad." The artists, they have an artist in the group, pressure in bad. So people would always single me out. I was like, "Yo, I want to hear more from you."
Yeah.
You know, like everybody will be talking about me. And, you know, I would always say to myself, you know, one day I'm probably going to do some solo work.
Yeah.
But right now, you know, I would like to get the group and let's see
Yeah.
what the group
The
can
loyalty with the
manifest.
group.
Yeah, you know, so just happen like that.
Yeah. But so now you work from there. You go solo, and now your first project come about as a solo artist.
Yeah.
How you get to that point now to be the solo
Yeah,
artist?
so one of the shows that we did in St. Croix was the Island Fest, I think it called, but it was locals alone. Back in the year 2000, 2001, 2002, the Virgin Islands was flooded with reggae artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was this one show that was kept in St. Croix. I'm telling you, it had like 20 artists on it. And we were the only acts from St. Thomas. You know?
Everybody else was reggae.
Yeah, everybody else was from St. Croix. So when we came to St. Croix and we did that show now, that like we basically were the talk of the show, right? And the keyboard player at the time for the band, Dean Pan, you know, he came to me and he's like, same thing I just said, he's like, "Yo, bro, the group bad, but I would like to work with you." At the time, I had so much respect for Dean because I heard that he was producing all of the other artists. And in St. Croix, the artists coming from St. Croix were really the first to be played on radio.
Yeah.
Like in St. Thomas, we wasn't getting any radio play. You know what I mean? But we would be in St. Thomas listening to the radio and hearing the artists them from St. Croix getting their music played. So I always felt like St. Croix had more love for the local acts,
Yeah.
you know? So we would travel to St. Croix a lot. And Dean was like, you know, "I would like to work with you." So the first time Dean mentioned that to me, I was like, yeah, but I'm with a group, so we'd
Bring
have
all
to
the
work
group
with all of we.
together.
And Dean said, no, I mean, I work with everybody.
You
But
have,
when you're ready, you know where to find me. And
yeah,
the vibe just hit me within another year, 2 years. I felt like, it was time for me to start doing some solo work.
yeah.
So I reached out to the group and, everybody was like, it was refreshing because everybody at that time
Wonder one.
wanted to do solo. They felt like it was time for them. So when I heard like everybody was like, I said, yes, all right, cool. Call Dean. Dean, I'm ready for you. And my first album we put out was The Pressure Is On. That album like got me so much great reviews throughout the Caribbean. Because of that album, I was able to perform at the Sierra Nevada World Music Festival. Just off of word of mouth and who is this artist coming out of the Virgin Islands. So I was making
Waves.
waves,
Yeah,
and this is in 2004,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Making waves throughout the Caribbean, and then I did a little small tour with Bamboo Station in California, and they took me to Hawaii. So I was
Of the
opening,
first album.
yeah, half of my first album, but I was opening for a local band in the
Yeah.
Virgin Islands who was already on tour. They was touring California, um, and Hawaii and stuff like that. So they brought me along with them
Yeah.
to open a show. So I started to gain more popularity,
Yeah.
more popularity. But the album, Dean ended up gave a copy of the album to Don Corleone,
The Dan
which,
Carly.
yeah, yeah. So Dan heard the album and he loved it, and he reached out to Pressure, and it was history.
So was it afterwards that you added the bus pipe to the name?
After later on,
Later on,
later
because
on,
you type in just pressure in
yeah,
certain platforms,
yeah,
it's just not gonna come up
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as that. If you put a bus pipe on
yeah,
it,
yeah.
that's when it stand out. Why bus pipe though? I know it got together still, but
Yeah, that came over time. Busspipe, I never heard the phrase before because I'm just Pressure.
yeah,
And this elderly lady, I tell this story all the while. This elderly lady, who's probably knew my parents, she asked me what's my name. I guess she like that you they look familiar. So I tell her Pressure. And she's like, no man, that's not your name, man. What your name of your mother and your father give? So I just me being that fire.
yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I don't have no name. Whoever you think about him dead in Pressure me name. You understand? So she like, you see you? Pressure bus pipe.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I heard that phrase in my
Okay.
life. Probably was about 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
And if I ever heard it before, it just fly
Right.
past me and never catch me ears until this lady said to me. And when she said to me, no, I would start to use the phrase in songs. I would, use the pressure bus pipe in songs until people start to call me pressure bus pipe,
Yeah. Okay.
just
Yeah.
through the music. So I inherit the bus pipe over time. So that's why now it's pressure bus pipe.
Right. So now you link up with Dan Carleon, the Dan Carleon, and you put out a few songs with Dan Carleon. How that link up come about?
Yeah, so when Dean gave Dan a copy of the CD right here in Miami as well, Dan said he listened to the album for 1 week, and he listened to all the tracks and he felt like he could send any rhythm to me and I would do good on it because of the versatility of the album. You know what I mean? There was R&B on it, reggae, dancehall, everything, in a whole. So Dan was like, all right, cool. Can work with this artist here. So for me, when Dan reached out to me, it was unbelievable. I'm still grateful to this day to Dan because of that. You know what I mean? Coming from a place where there's so much talent. You know what I mean? In Jamaica, like Dan, all him did have to do is just look out him window and
Yeah,
find
fine.
talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Jamaica is a place that I felt like I needed to go to Jamaica and meet with people and do all of this and try to make a name for myself. Not somebody from Jamaica looking outside of
Yeah.
Jamaica and to my talent. So for me, I was always grateful for that, for giving me a chance to shine.
Yeah.
And the first song we recorded was Love and Affection.
The first
Very
song.
first song we recorded was Love and Affection. So that stamp, like, yo, No, are you me I work with? You understand? It wasn't no build up to
Yeah.
love and affection. It was like
That.
love and affection. First song written and recorded for Dan Corleone, and at that point it was history.
No, but how do you follow love and affection though? Because
Well, I don't try. I don't
I would
try.
never, I would, I
I don't
wouldn't,
try.
I
I
would
don't.
advise it to try
I
to
don't
follow.
try. What I
Yeah,
mean? I tried before, but
yeah. Because to be honest, my favorite song is "Be Free." "Be Free" is
bro,
my favorite song.
bro. Oh, you know.
My favorite song. That.
You want me to tell you something?
Yeah,
Love and Affection was never my favorite. I loved it,
yeah.
but Be Free
My favorite.
was the song I felt like. This was Be Free was me.
Yeah,
Love and Affection was me stepping out of the box. Remember, like me a fiery youth, me a
yeah,
sing about whole heap of things and Rastafari, and at that time there's like me hot and fiery,
yeah.
You understand me? I talk about just a person. You know what I mean? Like I'm unapologetic.
Yeah.
So Be Free now and speaking about certain things and social issues.
Yeah.
That was who Pressure Busspipe was. I didn't think like me. I thought like Love and Affection was. I didn't want to show that soft side of me. You understand? But it was that, bro. It was
Yeah.
that song that really shaped my career. Like now,
Wildfire.
yeah. So now, Dan is like, you know what, Pressure? I know you love the Be Free, them, but you have to go sing some more love songs because that song they were busted. So
Yeah.
you know. So I started to focus a lot more on it, not fully because I felt like I'd be losing myself,
Yeah.
if I just end up in that realm. But I made sure I find a balance where I could sing some conscious music and still sing some songs for the
Yeah.
queens.
My our favorite collab would be either the song with Third World, was it Third World or In a Circle?
Third World.
Third World.
Yeah.
So the song with Third World
Yeah.
or the song on Kabaka album.
Okay.
The song upon Kabaka album. I hear the one with, we literally just hear the one with Protege. I never knew you have a song with Protege.
Yeah, man.
The song the bad with Protege. And the new song where you have Gunman Tone.
Gunman Town.
Bad
Yes,
bad song.
respect.
So now that you get the hit song and everything, right? Now you're talking about social issues and yes, you did the love songs, but now you jump into the social issues, into world issues. So what you think now about the political climate right now, especially in America?
Yeah, the political climate is very sticky, you know what I mean? And, right now people are speaking up more.
Yeah.
I seen like a lot of people are more aware of self today. So it's a good and bad, It's only going to be bad if we keep allowing certain things to happen, and the same cycle over and over. But I see people waking up, I see a lot of people speaking on things that before they would be silent, and it's like and it's like cool to speak up now, which is good.
Yeah.
It's cool to speak up.
Yeah.
And feel woke, or it's
Yeah.
now is the time people feel like, all right, he's woke, so I'm woke too. And okay, so let's get to the problem. Let's now all get together and deal with the problems that
I
we
feel like
face.
it's being infiltrated when there's, like you said, there's a movement started. It's infiltrated by the white people or some other organization infiltrated,
Yeah.
and it turns into something totally different. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
that happens for money. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
For-
Yeah,
for-
money is
for-
always the root. Well, the love of money is the root. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of evil, because money don't trouble nobody unless you pick it up. You understand?
Yeah,
And people love it.
We see a whole heap of organization is dismantled. We never hear about them no more. And then you take this revolutionary thing to another level where you're every little thing now you're a fight, because now your identity is to fight. You don't know another life but to fight. We see where the LMNOP community now,
Yeah.
if they get the freedom they want, them still find something else to fight for, because
Yeah.
that's their identity, is to fight for something. Even when you get what you want, it's still a fight.
Yeah, so well, so what we are gonna do? Don't fight.
No,
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, they're fighting for what they want.
Yeah.
But we have to fight for what we know is right.
Right.
You understand? We can't sit back and just allow them to just destroy Mother Earth and just deteriorate the true values of human nature. And you understand? So it's just a passiveness. And then now, like, us speaking our minds is becoming a criminal act to them. You know what I mean? So I don't have no boss, you know. So if I feel like it's something that's something I don't stand for or anything, I don't have to say anything about it, you know.
Right.
But if it come in my way and it's stopping me from getting where I need to get, then I have to stand up.
No, it
You
becomes
know
a
what I mean?
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like what my problem with the Rastas back in the days, one of the issues I had, because I love Rasta people.
Yes, I.
Enough respect for Rasta people because I grew up around enough of them.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I'm always said to them was getting on the same accord with what you're fighting for.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to burn this, burn politics, but at the end of the day, them still have making choices about your kids' future.
Yeah,
Way.
yeah.
You understand? Even though you have to burn politics and all of these
Yeah.
things, you still have to make sure people are educated about what's going on
Yeah,
with
definitely.
these things. You can't just be oblivious to it and be passive about it.
Definitely.
And I feel like that's where my problem was with them. There's no aim to say, even though we are born politics, look out for these things.
Yeah, we still, even though, yeah, we still abun the politics, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But we still need people in there to fight for us.
My
You
point.
know, so my
Yeah.
thing is like, we need to appoint people. We need to be strong as a community where we appoint people to go there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they giving us somebody to vote.
Yeah.
That's what's happening every year. They give us somebody to vote.
Yeah.
They give us the options. We don't gather as a community and say, listen here, me, him, and him, we are going to spend the money and back
But,
you.
yeah.
We need you in office.
Exactly.
Because we know what you are going to do when you're going there. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah. And I always say it, if we come together and say, all right,
Yeah.
find a little youth where aspirational.
Yes.
Put him through school.
Yes.
Put him through college and say, when you go into politics, you're
Yes.
going in for we.
That's what they are doing.
Right.
Sending their kids to school
Yeah.
and making sure that they lined up to be in that seat.
But I think the corporations, though, like the big corporations, are funneling their money towards that because everybody that put money into these political parties, they have to go with their agenda.
Yeah.
We don't have any money in politics. We don't have any money behind in these politicians. So the people that's making the real decisions is not the real politicians themselves. It's the people who fund them.
Yes.
We don't have a place to go for that.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have a pool. We say, oh, we're going to pool this $1 million together. Whoever is running for our seat, for our agenda, you are getting money. You understand what I'm saying? A voting block of people, let's say, for instance, now, the black people of Florida, or the Caribbean people of South Florida, come together as one people, and we put all our money, put $100 a week, and say, here we're going to go on. This person that's going into office, we're going to fund you. You go in there, you have our agenda, you get all our vote. You understand?
That's
Now,
what we need.
now their eyes are open to go with everybody going to be part of our agenda now. Because guess what? You want our vote. You want our money. So even the people who don't like we have to listen to everything that we have to say.
there.
We don't have that. Because we have an organization and you have 20 men over here say, yo, I don't like this and I don't like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times progression don't look good to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big division which is systematic,
Yeah.
you know, amongst ourselves, you know what I mean? And we just have to know this and step aside and say, wait, all right, we see what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I saw you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got something coming for you.
Yeah.
And that's unity, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More time we need for support one another, like for real. Not just talk, you
Talk
know.
about it.
Me I talk about if you a sell shirt and it gonna make you a millionaire. Why am I upset about that? Because you have a face that
You
I
want
can
it
see every
dirty.
day, but you're gonna give your money to somebody you don't know the face of these people, right? And who the money is really going to, and you're funding them. You have fund all kind of committees and all kind of politics committee and companies you have fund when you support certain
That's
entities.
contributing to your own downfall.
That's right, my brother.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? So yeah, it's we need to start look within ourselves, look to ourselves for help and strengthen ourselves as a people. You know,
That's
and
one
that
thing
is
I
it.
would say, like I said, we did blame the Rastas for. If you will galvanize the people, and remember the Rastas back in the day for us used to read the most.
Yeah,
We don't depend on the school system to teach us our
Yeah.
kids. We read our own books them back in the days. You understand what I mean? And they had certain knowledges on how to bring us together because they talk about repatriation and reparation. Rasta was the first people we hear that from. Repatriation back to Africa. We never used to hear about that unless it's in the music.
exactly.
You understand what I mean? And being able to galvanize so much people through music, I feel like we could have started a movement.
Yeah,
You understand what I mean? We still can. Still can start
Yeah,
and move.
but it's all about funding too. Rasta, and I must say, it's like like we far behind.
Yeah.
When it comes to advancement and setting up things for the youth them. Every religion out there, and Rasta not deal with religion, but everything entity was set up there have something set up. Rastafari is like it come like with us bush people, and with us red, gold and green scarf and
Yeah.
and red, gold and green this and bongo natty, and you understand, we really don't have much set up other than knowledge.
Yeah.
You understand? And knowing oneself, but at the same time, we need to organize and centralize
That is
as a
it.
nation,
Yeah.
and that is the truth.
So switch gears a little bit, right? You spoke earlier about your vulnerability in the music as far as talking about love. And we see where even though we have so much reggae out there, some of the Rasta artists themselves do some of the best love songs. So but I think that is not talked about enough. The love between a Rasta man and a Rasta woman, or even a Rasta man and a woman, because a Rasta man has certain standards where you live by, where a certain woman you have to live by that, but you have to carry yourself a certain way as a woman to be with a Rasta man at
Yeah,
all.
man.
So, what inspire a lot of these love songs, especially like a love and affection or any one of those songs? What inspire a lot of those?
Love and affection. I was in love when I wrote that song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I understand what love feels like too. I don't have to be in a relationship to write about an experience. You know what I mean? I could write about your experience that you have with your woman. You come in cussing every day. Yeah, woman. I could be like, that's a song. You know what I mean? Or just watching lives, people every day, couples just enjoying themselves and scrolling the internet. Like, I could actually put myself in a situation without actually being there and writing about it. Because I've been there before. I know what it feels like to be in love. I know what it feels like to love on somebody. It's a whole energy. So I've experienced it before, and it's easy for me to put into words. It's just harder to put it into words over and over and over and over again.
True.
And saying this because everything under the sun has already been done.
That's
So we have to find new ways to reinvent ourselves.
That's facts.
If I say all these nice things that you love so much in this song, what am I going to sing in the next
Next
song?
one, yeah.
So I have to find a new way to bring about the same I love you,
Yeah.
but in a
It's like
different
doing
way.
love and affection 10
Yeah.
times, but in 10 different
Exactly.
ways.
Yeah.
So does your type of woman have to have a certain look, be able to cook certain food, live a certain lifestyle? Do you have a standard? Does have to be a Rasta woman? Yeah.
No, she don't have to have locks, but of course I love beautiful woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love a woman who knows she's beautiful. You know what I mean? And not just using her body and using her looks and anything to draw attention to men. You know what I mean? I like a woman who knows what she carries, the powers that she possesses, and she harness it in a certain way that she doesn't have to wear nothing to get attention from people. You know what I mean? You could see like beauty without her showing any skin. I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not much of that. But at the same time, I like a woman who is free, who feels free to speak her mind, and somebody who allows me to be a king, somebody who allows me to take control and lead, and know that I will lead her as well.
Yeah.
More time you have a woman, she has all the looks, but she doesn't have the know-how or the way to allow you to be the king and to lead. You know what I mean? And that it never works out good in that way.
What about a woman with cosmetic surgery? What's your thoughts on cosmetic surgery, like BBLs and stuff like that?
I feel like it's a lack of self-esteem. I don't care how good you look. Like, I feel like there's levels to what you should do. Some women have heavy breasts. They may need to get a breast reduction because the back hurting them. So I approve of that. Like, that's something that it's a medical condition. You know what I mean? But if you say that you don't think you're beautiful enough, you know what I mean? Like, I've been with this girl one time, and when I met her, she had a little pouch small little backside,
And you was good
nice,
with it.
and I was like, yes, because I know that you're beautiful just the way you are.
Yeah.
You understand? And she let me to know straight she already paid for the surgery, and it's coming up in a couple months. So that couple months I used to, to try to tell her like you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like try to show her how pretty she look, and the internet is a strong place.
Very much.
She preferred to prove to the internet that she was a baddie, not me who love her and she have me.
Right, that's all.
You understand?
Yeah.
No, she wants to be the Nicki Minaj. She wants to be that. And as soon as she do it, my lad, she was gone to the internet. Yeah, she was gone. And I didn't have
And
to
you
come.
left?
No, Anna me left. No, I'm talking about she just left with the internet. She loved the attention more than I could give. You know what I mean? Like me saying, babe, you look good, Like I love what you're wearing. Just little makeup, you have on your lipstick, you look pretty, know yourself. And me and you are go road. You understand? And then a bus pipe you with too. So what happened to yeah? But she didn't care.
Yeah.
No, she never cared. She said, no man, I need that surgery. I need to have that because her friends, she have a couple friend will go out and them get it done.
Yeah.
So she don't want to look like, you understand? She want to fulfill the package with her friend them, So now it's like she's posting pictures that she never used to post. She never so confident before. So now she buy some clothes where she never really confident for wear before. So now she wear, you understand?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, all right. No, go ahead, go ahead. You know what I mean? Do your thing.
And it became a detriment of the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now, she put on enough weight.
Back again because
Back
of the
again.
discipline.
And now she looks way worse than she was before she got the surgery.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And I'm like, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. You came out of my life with that mentality. You know what I mean? And I don't have anything against women who do that, bro. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You just but for me to take you home to my mother just like no. She look like she gonna need money. Like you gonna have to take care of she. Like you gonna have to, you understand? She gonna need this and that, and the food ain't gonna cook, and yeah.
We always say, I always say this. We always say a lot of these women they do these things for other women. They don't
No, it's not for us. It's not. Let me just tell you, bro. It's our friend them, and she and her friend them, and it's the internet too.
Yeah.
Because the little 1 and 3 comments she used to get, now she getting 50 comments. You understand? And now she's getting inbox from men who know I'm a woman, but they never like her like that before. But now the way she's posting as if like she not have no man.
Yeah, right.
You understand? Yeah, she lose respect for herself and me, of course. But she lose respect for herself first.
Yeah.
You see me? Yeah.
So about marriage, you feel like marriage is something that Rasta practice?
Well, you want me to tell you the honest truth? The paper is what mash up everything, And the little paper,
Yeah.
You understand? Because marriage is a thing between a man and a woman. When a man say I'm a woman, I'm going to take care of you, it naturally becomes his wife. Once he take her up, and then when he breed her, he put her in a house. That is his wife, and then, like the law would say, a common law, marriage after 5 or 10 years, without the paper, she naturally becomes your wife. But how Rasta deal with it? From me say you're a woman and you're pregnant, you're my wife. You understand? You're my wife. And even without the picnic, from we connect energy, we connect spiritually on a level. Is like without words. I know, you're my wife. You understand?
Yeah.
And that was how things were, bro. Until we started to try to make money out of everything.
The government,
you know what I mean? Yeah, them government have to get money, and them have to own you certain way, and them have to know you're married, so them can know if you can get any of this money too. If you can get this, or you understand?
Yeah.
So
let's touch on the last topic before we close out, which is the mental health topic. As an artist, a lot of times, like I said, I started out by saying a lot of people don't see you as a human being, as a regular person when they become an artist. Because to be honest, When I was growing up, seeing an artist was like seeing a superhero.
Mm,
Like this is just a normal. Like me really, I look upon this person in a real life. Like
true, man.
even you being here back in the days, but I would be going crazy because you know it's like so surreal to see an
Yes, sir.
artist. You know what I mean? But people don't look upon you as a human being. Them see you as this super person in a real life.
Yes, sir.
And people treat you a certain way or talk to you a certain way or if they need a picture a certain way, it's like them expect you for always be available to them. So how do you know protect your own mental health as an artist? What are your practices where you use to say keep myself grounded or on a mental level where
Bro, you have to have a level of don't care too.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. You have to have a level of that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you can't take on everything. You know what I mean? And those things that you choose to take on, you know, make sure you do it well with your heart, you know,
Yeah.
because people are gonna count, people are gonna judge you by every deed you do.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like if I don't want to deal with people, I'll stay far from people. But as an artist now, I know once I step foot out the door and I go anywhere in public, anything is possible.
Yeah.
Three people might see me and need pictures. Somebody might want to say something and hold me up.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible once I step out my house. So I
Yeah.
have to allow myself to be that person for the fans,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
It's like a persona.
yeah, you know, I have to be that person because I'm outside,
Yeah.
you know, and these are the people who support, you know, so I always keep mind of that. But, you know, of course, from a human standpoint, you know, because I'm a spiritual man as well, but from a human standpoint, you know, we go through mental stuff sometimes even in the music, you know, even doing music that you know people is taking hard to gravitate to.
Yeah.
You know, in a world where there's so much darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more time you put out a song and everybody in your circle loves it, everybody's pushing a song, and then, you know, it doesn't make the cut. Not
Yeah.
because it's not good, it's because,
It's
you
not a
know, and
popular
then
thing.
today, you know, reggae music come like when all right, like when I was growing up and I hear my mother playing gospel, it'd be like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
You understand? Like I want to hear the Bounty Killer and
Yeah.
the Beanie Man. So when you hear reggae music and a man a talk about Haile Selassie and One Love and Ray, it
Yeah.
just come like gospel to
Yeah.
the youths them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying. Like now we have to find fun ways to get the youths involved
Yeah.
because the message remains the same. You know, but how can we reach the youths by just saying, yeah, you know, for do that in and Rasta man not do that in and one, you know what I mean? No, we
Yeah.
have to say something clever and find ways to gravitate the youths them.
True.
Even if we gravitate to them in a woman's song,
Mm-hmm.
you understand?
Yeah.
It just ways you have to
To be
find
honest, I feel
creative
like we need to
ways.
do something like what you do with the song where you drop, where you go into the studio and drag some man out of the studio for real and
Yeah,
get some song
you
to
understand?
play. Yeah, that's what I mean. Because
And
there
that
are good
song,
songs.
and that song in particular, came off of a topic like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just talking about where we at with the music now, and you know us as reggae artists putting out music and it's not being played by the DJs who also have a responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you know a lot of the music playing today doesn't have substance that's gonna last another
I'm gonna
10
go in
years.
defense of the DJs a little bit
You know?
because there's a disconnect now with DJs and artists. Big disconnect because artists don't feel like they need DJs no more. You understand what I mean? I've deal with artists and I say, bro, we are the major some of the major DJs in South Florida. We need the new music or we need a dub plate, we need a
Yeah.
drop, we need something.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna say, bro, I don't need you like I don't need to do that for you. I can just post my song on a TikTok.
Yeah,
and
me no know them
good.
artists there. I mean,
You
no one
understand?
know them kind of artists there.
Yeah, and we deal with that on a
Yeah,
regular.
because you
understand what I
know
mean?
they never build themselves. Them never make themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? It's a whole thing together, bro.
Yeah.
Everybody have a part to play.
Yeah.
Selectors, radio, artists, promoters, everybody have a part to play in it.
Yeah.
For me, take yourself out and go on like you alone, build yourself. I don't want to work with them kind of
Yeah.
people there.
And
You
we
know
get
what I
that
mean?
all the while as
Yeah.
DJs. All the while
Yeah,
as
man.
DJs.
Because if you was a DJ, women know I've reached and can help me, and you call me for a dub plate, my new music, bro. There was a come a time I dying if you think. Now you are call me for my new music.
Yeah.
It should be a pleasure. From
And I know,
yo,
and that's why I know we don't want boss artists no more.
you know what I mean?
You know back in the days you try boss an artist as a selector. No, me no want boss no artist, brother. Cause me go boss your song now. Everybody know about your song. You know I have no clue. that's a me bust your song and I call you and say, yo bro, you know, I need a dub plate or you see you get bigger because the song bust now. You understand? And you used to link me
You
hard with
mash
it.
you up. Yeah, okay. See now you're making a point there. But
Yeah.
you want mash things up too. Enough selector always feel like them boss somebody.
Yeah.
So the
True.
man
That's
never
true
really
too.
boss. A man just forget something out of you. Me,
Yeah.
me boss the song down. No, me nobody don't know about the song till me boss it. You know. Yeah, and then another 3 days, another
Next
selector
man,
tell you the same thing. So who bust the music? The whole of you bust the
Yeah.
music. Everyone I wanna bust the music.
Yeah.
Cause we need each other.
I
If
know-
me never make the music, you wouldn't have no music for
Yeah.
bus.
And I just feel like when we get everybody want a hype off it.
You
understand
understand?
what I mean? Me can just tell the straight. So I played your song and this was the reaction. No videos are there to prove that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I
Yes.
feel like the appreciation was there for DJs. You say, I don't know the man I push my song. It's not popular, but yeah, play it.
Yeah.
You understand? Nowadays, bro. Remember, say back in the days, you know, when you play a new artist anywhere, people hears go.
Yeah, man.
You understand? Now them think them don't need that. You understand what I mean?
And then a lot of the artists them sound the same. Content is the
Yes.
same. It's like I could bet any money if a dancehall rhythm drop. I know the content for every song is gonna be about murder,
Yeah.
killing, popping
Darkness.
pills, darkness, skin out, whatever, derogatory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could bet my last dollar when me hear certain producer put out rhythm.
Yeah.
Me know what kind of music I come.
And the thing is, it's the creative side of things because, like we said before, there were artists who talked about certain topics but did it in a creative way. Very man talk about tech woman, girl. Freddie
Yeah.
Mac can talk about tech woman,
Yeah,
girl.
but how them do it?
Oh, they do
Yeah,
this.
how
Very
them
man
do
to
it?
step aside now and
Another man wants it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A gangster thing that, you know, yeah, that's what I mean. Better take away your girl.
Yeah.
You understand what I say? So I feel like the creativity of, even when you do this song, you do a dancehall song, a song just come on my brain, I'm forget. There's a dancehall song with a hardcore dancehall rhythm.
Okay.
We do a song on one of your popular song too, in Jamaica. And when I listen to the song, I said, everybody else want the rhythm of gun song on the rhythm.
Dan Carleon producer.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the song.
She says she want me squeeze her.
Everybody, yeah,
and that rhythm.
Yes,
All right,
everybody
me know
on the
song.
rhythm have hardcore song.
Yeah, man.
And your song was one of them songs.
Don't stress yourself.
Think-
Personality.
In whatever,
Personality.
yo, you got
Yeah.
to
Satisfy yourself in whatever. Mad.
And your song was the only song on the rhythm.
Yeah.
Well, didn't have a girl thing to it or a gunman thing to it. But the song was one of the baddest songs on the rhythm.
Yeah, but the song not boss.
To
Why?
us it didn't know.
Yeah, no.
To us it did.
You know who always tell me about that song there?
Yeah.
The Jamaican people.
That's what I tell you,
Especially
to
who
us.
were living in Jamaica.
To us in
Outside
Jamaica.
of Jamaica, is the song I never performed that song on stage,
Yeah.
you know.
You got Jamaica perform that song.
Yeah, I did it in Jamaica, but anywhere else I never performed that song. But
At that time in high school.
yeah, so I could remember being in Jamaica in some dance and the song I play for real.
Yeah.
When I left Jamaica, I hear that song, I hear every other song
Trust
on
me.
the rhythm.
That song-
You understand?
that song there,
And
Jamaica.
that is a true testament to good music, righteousness, and what people really want to hear, bro.
Yeah.
People love the unorthodox. You know what I mean? So for we know, like I said, we have to find clever ways to gravitate the people.
Which leads me
Yeah.
to the next question, which is, we have two more questions. So the first one is, what do you think, because that's one of the things what you just said just now, what do you think we can do to improve our music? Because we see now where, from Cartel getting visa, Beanie getting visa, Bunty getting visa, Sizzla having visa, we see arenas being sold out, we see big shows keeping, we see music a sell again, we see collaborations happening with international artists again. What do you think we can do now to just skyrocket back into world music again? Like
Nah, lie to you, I love where we're going right now. Like, me not tell you no lie. Like, I feel like, yeah, of course, the Cartel and the Beanie Man and the Buju and the Bounty Killer getting ready
Yeah.
to do his show. Bro, this is big for the culture, bro.
Big.
Big. So, I just hoping we have a lot more of that and that stays up. It's nothing bad I could say about that because that was what we needed. That was the life dancehall and reggae music needed. that life what Cartel bring to it.
But how do we capitalize on that though? How do we bring back a time when we can have some songs like your songs like Love and Affection?
We need
like,
balance.
Yeah.
We need balance. Okay, so the Cartel out now and him have the big show. Them are going Beanie Man just doing big show.
Yeah.
Everybody have big show. All right, we need balance now. We need the selectors them to start focus on the reggae artists them, and we need the reggae artists them to start focus back on reggae music.
Yeah.
You understand? Because enough artists are artists first. If reggae now go on, we are gonna do dancehall.
Yeah.
Pressure Busspipe or reggae music,
Shit.
all when nothing now go on.
Yeah.
You understand? So we need some more warrior. We're gonna say reggae, all when reggae now go on. You understand? So when it do turn over, we're ready.
Yeah.
And we have the music and we're out there. You understand?
I was a Burna Boy, I put out a reggae album, you know. He might have a bad reggae songs.
He better put out a reggae
Have a
album.
bad reggae one.
Yeah, he better put out a reggae album. You understand?
Yeah.
And what make him do that now?
Because it's gonna be the thing.
Yeah, because where Afrobeats was where dancehall music needed to be.
Yes, sir.
And now Cartel come out of jail and it shines
That
some
attention.
light on dancehall and Beanie Man and the Bounty Kill and Butch.
Buju.
Listen, man, the light is there, so now everybody have to find back the space. Cause I know Burna Boy is a dancehall artist long before, long, and then Afrobeats and rare, but enough of them highly, been following dancehall and reggae music.
Yeah.
So we know the culture. So it's about time. It makes sense right now for him to do that.
So for the last and final thing, we usually close out the podcast with, like I said, it's called Student to Life Podcast. And we always leave the audience with a key advice, a gem, something that can help somebody through them day. Any kind of advice, whether it's about relationship, life, anything, but leave it, anything, just something informational, some advice for anybody that's out there listening right now.
Yeah, one thing I always say is do unto others as you want done unto yourself.
Yeah.
That is law. If you love yourself, you should see your neighbor as that always. That is the first thing to start in good communication and good relationships with people. Business relationship, social, love relationships, anything. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. Respect everyone's personality, everyone's way of reaching there. There's many roads to get in to there, you know what I mean? And everybody has their own road. We should learn to wish each other well, and if you see a weak, you strengthen the weak and don't cut off the weak, because that's what we're here for, to strengthen the weak. You know what I mean? And it's so much. Always remember, hell is a cold place and heaven is a hot place.
Explain that for me. Just explain that one.
Heaven is a hot place.
Yeah.
And hell
is a cold place.
It's a cold place.
Yeah.
Nothing can prosper in the cold.
Yeah.
Nothing can live in the cold. You understand? And in hell, there's no red man with a pitchfork and two horns on his head.
Yeah.
If we see the devil if we see a man with two pitchfork and a hand and two hand or whatever, we're not going there.
Yeah.
So the devil is a man that will come this evening and him pretty and him nice and him handsome and him well put together and everybody love him. The girls love him. Wherever he goes, people bow to him. Them just love. That are the devil. Yeah. The devil is not gonna come and show you he's a devil. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You see where it's at? Mango grow, banana grow.
Tropical.
You understand? It's tropical.
Yeah.
Food, people, life exists.
Yeah.
No life don't exist in hell. Mm-hmm. You understand? So them things the Babylon trick we with and show we say, we living in hell and heaven is this place where is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Heaven and hell is right here. When a man wicked, what them say? Him out what?
Dirty.
Him out cool.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and when you're doing good and you're doing things well over and over, a man say, yo, that brother on fire,
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah, he's on fire.
Yeah.
So it's a trick them use pan we, you know what I mean? Because right now me go to the sun, I burn me up, and the sun dip on the tree them, right? And the apple I grow, banana, mango, everything I grow out there. If it cold, man, no leaf no dip on the tree, man. You understand? Nothing can prosper in the cold. Remember that. So hell is a cold place. And Zion is a hot place. Heaven is a hot place.
I think what
Remember? Yeah.
mine would be learn to be happy for the next man.
Yeah.
You understand? Learn
Yeah.
playing sports. I learned that playing basketball
That is
for
true.
years. They will always say, if you're on the bench and it's not your time, be happy for the man when I get film time. Because your time will come once you put in the work.
Yeah.
So basketball, I learned that key principle. Even though it's not your time right now, and you're on the bench, and you see a next man shining, be happy for him. But put in the work if you want to get to his level. Don't badmine him, don't envy him, don't grudge him. Learn from him. Use his place where he's at to inspire you to get there. You understand?
Yes, man.
So that's one thing I'm always learn from sports. I always learn to be happy.
Of
for the
course,
next
man. Yeah, man.
Understand?
That is.
And put your kids in a sports and make them not only go in a sports to make the NBA and the NFL.
Yeah.
Let them go into sports to learn the principles.
Yeah.
Learn teamwork. Camaraderie. You understand what I mean? These are things that we learn from sports.
Yes, sir.
Everybody who I played sports with, playing on the same team with, we're still brothers until this day. Because that is an important thing. Why do people put their kids into sports to learn these things? We put our kids into sports to be millionaires or to play these sports and entertain. Entertainment is what we are trying to use as a scapegoat to do a lot of things instead of going to these places and learning the key principles of these things. So yeah, that's my one. Just be happy for the next man.
That is it.
Yeah, understand? Especially man who look like you. Be
that
happy
is
for
it.
the next man.
Rastafari.
So Pressure. Give thanks.
Enough love, bro.
Big up, give thanks forward.
Yeah, man.
And that was an amazing episode of the Student to Life podcast. Once again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on again next time. Bless up.